Welcome. I'm back with another reading. I'm back with another chapter reading from out of the book, Stolen Legacy. This book details a lot about what our ancestors structured, a lot about what our ancestors forged into this world that's still alive and living today. And I'm speaking about the positive things. You get what I'm saying? The things that make America, America, that makes it beautiful. You feel me? You get me? That makes it beautiful. And we're on chapter chapter 5. Let me make sure I'm correct. Yeah, we're on chapter 5. And we're going to get into part 4. But I would like to really like to explain some things. Yeah, really like to explain some things that I peeped out about the 10 what was it called? The 10 chains of the flesh. You got what I'm saying? It's something. You know what I mean? Those things can change you down. They can change you down. You know what I mean? It's there are things in these 10 chains that that really is detrimental in the black community. These are some things that we need to work on. These are some things that I believe could change the stigma in the black community. Stigmas in the black community. You know, we are very far behind. We are very less likely to succeed. We are very less likely to be I'm not gonna say great parents, I'm gonna say good parents. You know what I mean? And it's hard to be a parent. It's hard to raise your kids, go out here and make a living for yourself, and have a life, you know, yourself outside of your family. You got what I'm saying? There's sacrifices you're gonna make if you're really trying to do this on a successful level. If you're really trying to do this on a level where that your kids look back and say, no, everything was good. I don't know nothing I want to change. And see, that's the thing about being a young adult. Something may not hit you right then at 2021, but at 30, at 40, you may revisit something and say, you know, some mama or daddy should have did that differently. Then you start realizing that, okay, that might affect some decisions in my life that made me go this way, that made me go that way, that made me run up this street. So what I say to you is this right here. Don't beat yourself in the head about whether or not you was a good parent when you was there. You understand what I'm saying? When you was there. You got me? Because see, parenting goes both ways, you know what I mean? There's things you ought to share with your kids, and there are things that your kids should feel comfortable to ask. Anyways, you can find the Stolen Legacy playlist at my YouTube channel, OFM Kemet Edition. Please, if you're over there now, if you're over there viewing now, you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Find something over there. You know what I mean? Find something over there to like. Find something over there to share. Find something over there to comment about. Look, let's get into this read. Once again, I said we're on chapter 5, part 4. And the title of part 4 is The Later Ionian School. A. Heraclitus. B. Anaxagoras. C. Democritus. Okay, A. Heraclitus. believed to have been born BC 530 and to have died in 470 BC. Heraclitus, a native of Ephesus in Asia Minor, has been credited with the following doctrine. The doctrine of universal flux. There is no static being and no unchanging element. Change is Lord of the universe. The underlying element of the universe is fire, and all things are changed for fire, and fire for all things. Next, the change is not at random, but uniform, orderly, and cyclic. Thus, the heavenly fires are transmuted successfully into vapor, water, and earth, only to go through a similar process as they ascend again into fire. B. It contains the elements both of the old and new at any given moment in the process. Consequently, where night ends, their day begins, where summer begins, their spring ends, and where mortal life ends, their spiritual life begins. It also consists in a generation which results from the union of opposites, a doctrine later to be found in Plato and Socrates. Hence, we observe that the union of male and female produces organic life, and that sharp and that flat notes produce harmony. That's another one we get ready to get into the theory of knowledge. Since knowledge or knowledge derived from the senses is illusion, it must be avoided, and true knowledge sought for in the perception of the underlying unity of the various opposites. You get that? True knowledge. In other words, you're going to go through some research and you're going to go through some history to get to the point that this is accurate, to get to the point this is what I'm going to stand on, to get to the point I can believe that more than I can believe this. This is possible for man who is part of the all-comprehending fire, which underlies the universe, but in the doctrine of the upward and downward path, true knowledge comes from the upward path, which leads to the eternal fire, whereas folly and death are the results of the following the downward path. You can't take that as having a halo. You got what I'm saying? You can't. Downward, upward, you can. The doctrine of the logos, that the hidden harmony of nature ever reproduces concord from oppositions, that the divine law of universal reason rules all things, and that the primitive essence recomposes itself anew in all things according to fixed laws, and is again restored by them. I agree with that. You know what I mean? I agree that of the universal law. I really do. There's a universal law that we live by. It's in our Constitution. It's in our thinking. It's in our walk of life. It's in our common sense of how to treat one another. The life and teachings of Anaxagoras. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. The life and teachings of Anaxagoras. Anaxagoras, a native of Clazomenae in Ionia, is supposed to have been born in 500 BC like all the other philosophers. Nothing is known about his early life and education. He comes into history through a visit to Athens, where he met and he made the friendship of Pericles, and where he was charged with impiety. He, however, escaped from prison and fled back to his home in Ionia, where he died in 430 BC. Nous, mind alone, his doctrines included the following: Nous, mind alone is self-moved and is the cause of motion in everything in the universe, and has supreme power over all things. Supreme power over all things. I agree with that. I really do agree with that. Sensation is proved by the stimulation of opposites. We experience the sensation of cold because the heat is in us, and we experience a sweet taste because of the sour in us. I agree with that. All right, let's go on to the next one. The life and the teachings of Democritus, and it starts off his life. Democritus is said to have been the son of Hegesistratus and also a native of Abdera, a city at Miletus, an island in the Aegean. Both Aristotle and Theophrastus have regarded Lysippus as the founder of atomism, in spite of the fact that his existence is doubted. Like all the other Greek philosophers, nothing seems to be known about his early life and training. However, he enters history as a magician and sorcerer. You get it? Most of these philosophers, these Greek philosophers, just appeared out of nowhere, which means to me, you know what I mean, how I'm interpreting this, the people were placed. These people was told, I need you to teach this. I need you to go into Greek, break this down, study this, and I need you to teach this until it became a issue to the Greeks about the philosophy that they stole from out of ancient Kemet, from out of ancient Egypt. 2, his doctrines. The name of Democritus has been associated with the following doctrines, summarized as atomism in his explanation of the nature of atoms and their behavior in relation to the phenomena of creation, life and death, and sensation and knowledge. The description of the atom, the world stuff. The atom is explained as a colorless, transparent, and homogeneous powder consisting of an infinite number of particles. Their qualities. The atom is described as full or solid, invisible, indestructible, uncreated, and capable self-motion. The atoms differ in shape, order, position, quantity, and weight. C, the identity of the atom with reality. Every atom is equivalent to that which is, and the void is equivalent to that which is not. Reality is the movement of that which is within that which is not. The atom in creation, owing to the difference in size, weight, and mobility, and in particular to necessity, there is a resultant motion by means of which the atoms combine themselves from the formation of the organic and inorganic worlds. The atoms in the phenomena of life and death. What we commonly call life and death are due to a change in the arrangement of the atoms. When they are arranged in a certain way, life emerges, but when that arrangement is changed to another way, then death is the result. In death, the personality disappears, the senses also disappear, but the atoms live on forever. The heavier atoms descend to the earth, but the soul atoms, which are composed of fire, ascend to the celestial regions whence they came. The atom in sensation and knowledge. The mind or soul is composed of fire atoms, which are the finest, the smoothest, and the most mobile. These fire atoms are distributed throughout the whole universe and in all inanimate things, and especially in the human body, where they are found in the largest numbers. External objects constantly give off emissions or minute images of themselves. These in turn impress themselves upon our senses, which set in motion our soul atoms and thereby create sensation and knowledge. That's the end of that chapter reading. And I just want to say this to you. I hope you peeped out some stuff that, you know, they're getting into science. They're getting into, you know, the atoms and all that stuff. You know, it takes me back to the 5% teachings, where that the way some things was explained, you know, it's like matter, energy. We come from that. You got what I'm saying? But then when you think about, you know, how the world was structured, this planet was structured, how mankind came about and all that, you know, I lean more to that energy, that matter is a spiritual being that has the power, that has the uniqueness, has the supreme attributes to create on a level that's at a multitude. You got what I'm saying? At a multitude. So I say this to you, you know what I mean? I get the stuff about the atoms. I get how they fall. I get how they float. I get that. You got what I'm saying? Science wasn't a big subject that I love, but I did pay attention. Anyway, anywho, we're gonna end this reading, and I just say this to you again. You know, please go to my YouTube channel, OFM Kemet Edition, and go on view, go on stream the Stolen Legacy playlist. Next, I just want to get back into me reiterating, invest. You got what I'm saying? Take some money and invest. Okay. You may not have a lot of money, so it's time for you to look at a long-term goal. Okay, if you do have a lot of money and you're used to you're used to flipping property, then you know that you have a 3 to 5 year window to flip that property. Okay, take that money and invest. And it is probably the same blueprint. For real, it's probably the same outlook. It's probably the same blueprint to investing in property, investing in stock. So I say this to you again, you know, you love your kids, you love your family, you love your nephews, you love your nieces, you love your grandma, you love your family, your bloodline, and you're in a position to help them. Buy them some stock. When you know these babies have came in the world, buy them some stock or invest into that gerbil plan so that at 18, they have the choice to either go to college or start a business. You get what I'm saying? Start a business. You're going to tell me that that little bit of money you put into that gerbil plan will not make a successful man or woman within your family? You're going to tell me it won't? I'm telling you it will. I'm explaining to you that it will. And I say this to you again, you know, you people of wealth, you families of wealth, it's time for you to reach back. It's time for you to research your family tree on your own. You got what I'm saying? As a minority, as a person of poverty, I don't feel I should have to ask a person of wealth for anything. For you to be so blessed financially, I believe there is a time in your life that you need to get humble. You need to get precise in how you distribute your wealth back into your family, back into your bloodline. No one should be left out. You got me? The dog should not be left out. You get me? Anyways, I'm out and I love you.